So this is straight camera phone, natural lighting. It's an overcast day, so normally that's good because we get some of the light filtered out, although the clouds are blowing in and out, so we're getting some harsh sunlight and some nice soft white natural light. Regular background, no artificial light, and the mic is plugged in. Alright, so now we are using the Moment 58mm lens on the cell phone camera, of course. The mic is plugged in, still natural lighting, the same natural light we had before, no artificial lighting coming in. Because of the size of this lens, we've moved the camera further back from the backdrop, which is an advantage, which means I've now moved further away from the backdrop. There's more distance between myself and the backdrop, which gives us a cleaner line around me. The backdrop is slightly out of focus, just a little bit, it pulls less focus, and now I am in much more focus. I am the attention, right? And the reason we do this, the reason why we use lenses like this in film and television and all these wonderful things that we're all trying to get into is because we want the backdrop to not be drawing attention away from the key point of focus, which is the actor. And in this case, this lens is giving you that advantage. All right, so now we're using the same 58mm lens, set up on the smartphone, of course. We got the mic plugged in, the Rode mic plugged in, and we've got two artificial lighting elements, soft boxes, part of this setup right now. So again, I get to stand further away from the background. I've got light coming in from the side. We do have daylight coming in from the windows, but the majority of the light is coming from our artificial lighting source. The benefit of this lens is that now I'm crisper, I pop off the screen a little bit more, and it's handling the light better than my standard camera phone lens. This makes me more of a real person, right? More of a real human being standing in front of this camera. You feel like you can recognize me. It's not so washed out, it's not so bright that it's hard to watch, it's hard to recognize me because of the amount of light you need to put into the smartphone. And it's not so dim that you have no idea who I am. If you call me in for a callback or whatever, you don't know who is walking in your room. So this is the advantage of using this 58mm Moment telephoto lens. Okay, so this is pure artificial light. And what I'm trying to replicate here is the scenario where you might be shooting a self-tape and it's nighttime outside, you don't have the advantage of daylight coming in, any natural light, and you have to only use your artificial light setup. Again, this lens is very good at handling light. So the quality of light you're getting and the quality of the image that you're getting from your performer, from you, from the person who's talking, and your self-tape is going to be higher. This lens can just handle the light better than my standard smartphone lens. So I'm really happy with it. I hope you guys can see the difference. I hope you guys can see the contrast, and I hope it makes sense to you of why this might be a super upgrade to your self-tape kit. Okie dokie. So now we're looking at just trying a different background. So we had this blanket set up. Sometimes people use curtains. Sometimes people use sheets. All great things. As wrinkle-free as possible is always best. But now this is a totally different color, right? So it's maybe a little bit busier than I might like. But and even though I'm wearing a gray shirt, you can still see the definition. You can still see the difference between myself and the background. There's a little bit of depth of field going on. And there's just more pop, again, from the performer in front of the lens. So this is another option for you. All right, so I changed my shirt so I don't blend into the background here, but this is without the lens. This is without the Moment lens, just straight smartphone lens. And we're getting a little bit of a flatter image. We still have our artificial lighting coming in, no natural light to the best of our ability. But the image is still a little flat. It's not as crisp, and the subject, myself, isn't quite as prominent in the image as it was before. I've had to move I've had to move closer to my background, so that's part of the problem. And the camera has had to come closer to me without the lens on, with only a smartphone, the standard onboard smartphone lens. Okay, so here we are in front of a great background again. We are currently using the Moment 58mm lens on the smartphone, and of course the onboard mic. And by using the lens, I'm able to step away from the background. I changed my shirt to obviously not blend into the background with my gray sleeves. But again, what the lens is allowing is that as you start watching the image, maybe when you're first scrolling through, there's not going to be that big of a dramatic difference. But when you start watching the video, your attention draws to the sharper image, which is myself. So for you as a self-tape auditioning actor, that's going to be to your advantage.
The Actor CEO Podcast with Mike Moreno.